Now, anyone who's anyone and knows me at all realizes that I've never in my life been a fan of Bumblebee, but now and again, there will be a Bumblebee that will come along that will actually capture my interest where I have to concede. You know what? That Transformer was pretty great. It happened with the Studio Series version of Bumblebee that turns into a Jeep, and it's happening with this guy, the Transformers Prime First Edition Deluxe Class Bumblebee. This glorious beast will be our focus this time around in the latest GotBot True review. Hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course subscribe, and while you're at it, light 'em up, baby. Hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton and let you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, the Everything Factor, all of the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that is in the description down below. Also in the description down below, and if you happen to be in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course you can hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. And this is the first edition Bumblebee. Like, this is great. There are some really neat, very neat engineering tricks here, especially like with the shoulders and stuff that I really kind of like. I will compare it with the Beast Hunters Deluxe version of Bumblebee. I don't have the regular RID version, but close enough. There may be a couple instances, I will apologize now, where things go to focus. Just bear with it for a moment or two. I promise we will get back. Maybe I even have it edited out. I'm not sure. I recorded it a while ago, so it was kind of like my mistake if there's something that's out of focus. I do apologize. Without any further ado, how about we see what's what and head over to the table and take a closer look at this guy. Now, we all know that I'm not a huge Bumblebee fan, but taking a look at the Transformers Prime First Edition Bumblebee was a real treat. I'm not gonna lie, this might be my favorite Bumblebee mold that I've ever looked at. Possibly. And to be fair, I didn't detest, now granted this is the Beast Hunters version, but I didn't detest the like deluxe Bumblebee that came out in Transformers Prime. Now that being said, if you kind of want my full thoughts on this guy, I looked at him a long time ago on March the 6th of 2018 in episode 376. And not for nothing, but if you prefer the like black with the gold highlights, the Night Shadow version, I looked at that in the following review, 377, on March the 8th of 2018. As a vehicle, this definitely looks like Bumblebee. We have a lot of nice detail up on the top with all of the black lines painted in. Nicely done is the yellow, because the yellow is all yellow plastic, which means it all matches. We don't have to worry about mismatches of paint and plastic. I like that. We have the taillights colored in. We have a ton of detailing here on the front with the orange signal lights, I guess. The Autobot Tempo up right there. I love it. I think it looks very good. I think instead of the blue translucent, I would have preferred, honestly, if this was a smoky, kind of maybe gray color. And same with the headlights. I think I would have preferred if that was like a smoky gray color. But it's a very small gripe. I will also note that we do have the tires all painted in, or the rims I should say, all painted in, and I love it. Underneath, it's obviously like storage down here for his blaster, and really what you're doing with the blaster, and I'm going to take that off now. On the feet, you have two little rectangular slots. On the underside of the blaster, you have rectangular pegs on the feet. On the underside of the blaster, you have rectangular slots, and basically you push it on over. But like, you can tell kind of the robot parts under here, but it's really not egregious at all. Like, I like the little Autobot logo, or the little, silver detail down here that almost looks like an Autobot logo, I should say. I like that you can see the hips and the legs, and you have an idea of how it's going to go, but like, the way the arms are folded up, the head turned around, the way the feet are done, like it looks like it could just be legitimately the bottom of a vehicle. I dig that. Rolls, no problem. I was concerned about clearances, but man, oh man, no worries at all. Let's do the transformation and then we'll talk about scores for the guy. So we kind of come here and we really sort of push in a door here and over here and loosen up the whole back. So we kind of push these doors in a little bit so these sections become loosened. Then we can kind of bring the waist sort of down. We can also take this piece and bring it down. And bring the whole lower body down. Beautiful. We're going to deal with the lower body first and then stand him up and deal with the upper body after. So for the rest of the lower body, we split the legs. We bring the foot all the way down and kind of angle up the knee. And we rotate this foot out. Dandy. And then over here we'll do the same thing. We'll fold it all the way down, fold the knee back up, fold out a foot. Now we should be able to stand our bee up and work with the upper body next. I would like to note, by the way, that he stood up with half a car hanging off the back and able to hold a pose. I think that's impressive. Okay, so we come now to the roof section and the doors, and we open that out, and we open that out. We can kind of come here and bring these arms down, and we can unpeg these pieces as well, and unpeg that piece as well. There's a little peg here on the gray that goes into a little slot here on the door. We can fold down that roof section or fold down that roof section. We can swing down the arm and swing down the arm. The whole thing swung down. The windshield can come all the way down, and we can even kind of angle in those doors just a little bit if you're so inclined. We can come here and kind of bring these arm pieces up. We'll deal with these in a few minutes. Then we can untab the chest piece. And really all you're doing is these yellow tabs slide down. And this whole piece now comes up over. And we can rotate it around. And rotate that around. And then we bring it, get these out of the way. Then we should be able to bring it forward and bring it down. Now, here's where things get interesting and difficult to show. There is a bit of a space here in the almost the tummy section, I guess. And we angle in this chest piece, for lack of a better term, where the head is, so that it sort of fills in the middle of the body. And we're going to see if I can explain this. We're going to take, there's little gray pieces right here, and they go up underneath. And when they go up underneath, they really kind of slot in. It's difficult to show. Hold on, I'm going to try and get it in closer and see if I can explain it a little bit better. Boy, oh boy, is this brutal to show. So on this side, right where my finger is going, you can see that there's a little gray piece that's not on the other side. That's because this piece has been slotted over the gray section and pushed down and solidified into place. What little gray piece am I talking about that's supposed to go there? Do you see this piece that my fingernail is by? Well, we really have a little notch that's supposed to go down between this and notch right in there, and it does hold it quite solidly when it's done. And it looks like this. Boy, oh boy, I really hope that you understood what I was trying to get at with those gray hook pieces. They are hard to show. Then we come here and this piece just slots up. If you haven't done so already, make sure you angle down the two sides of the bumper. Give that up there a little squeeze, and now we're going to deal with the shoulder here. So we actually have a couple of pieces of arm here. So you bring the elbow down, and then you bring that whole pin up on this pin over here, and you bring this up over the arm. And really, you're going to make sure you got all of that sort of angled forward. Bring this up. Adjust the elbow the way that you want it, and that is one arm already done. Just to show it again on the other side over here, we're going to make sure that we have the tire, say, out front here. We're going to use this pin up here that's under the tire and bring it up forward, and then the shoulder piece comes up over and tabs into the tire, and we rotate it up, and really, boom, in the end, here we have Bumblebee in his robot mode. It's easy. It looked complicated because I was trying to show the two gray hooks up by his head here. But for vehicle mode, your key is having these two yellow ones push up. And for robot mode, the two gray hooks next to his head need to slot over. You'll see where they're supposed to slot over, no problem. It looked complicated to try and show on film. It's easy to do in hand. And we put that there. Angle those out to the side. And really, yeah, boom. In the end, here we have Bumblebee in his robot mode. And I love it. The transformation is going to get a 10 from me. Can't believe I'm saying it about a Bumblebee, but I adore the transformation. The way that the shoulder and bicep splits in half, I think is brilliant. The way that when you push the legs back, the windshield sort of pushes into the leg almost in a little bit of an automorph feature, I think is brilliant. For the head to show, we take the hood and we turn it around, and then we take the grill piece that's on the hood and also turn it around. And then not only do we bring it down, but we bring it down and we put it into the body so that the body's not hollow, it's filled in with something. And if we get a guy who has some pretty good stature and a gorgeous Bumblebee head sculpt, probably the best Transformers Prime Bumblebee head sculpt I have seen. So yeah, 10 for the transformation. For the look of the guy, I'd like to be able to say 10, but I can't quite say a 10. Where the blue is, that should be gray. Like where the blue translucent is, I think that should be gray. Namely, here on the door wing windows and on the headlights, I guess. Other than that, the yellow and kind of black layout is pretty much the way it should be, as is the gray. Down so far as the, well, I guess down so far as the knees, right? It's arguable that the gray on the inner thighs and the gray up here on the bicep should be darker, closer to a black than it is here, but that's debatable. Around the knees, it's all yellow. The knee spike should be yellow, but down below the knee spike should be black, and the actual knee hinge should be black. Down around the bottom where the silver is here, that's fine. I think the feet should have been a darker gray, probably black. And really, all of this junk here shouldn't be on the side. It should, I guess, somehow be folded around. But I understand why it's there. I mean, it's easy in animation to hide some pieces that you can't do in actual physics in the real world. I'm going to say, though, that as an iteration of Transformers Prime Bumblebee, man, oh man, this is real good. I'm going to give it a solid, put that up. I'm going to give the look a solid 9. Solid 9. So 10 for the transformation and 9 for the look. What about the articulation? The head goes left, right, up, down. But when it goes down, it's almost in his chest a little bit. The door wings can open in and out a bit. You can kind of do what you want, sort of, with those. This goes up, not all the way around. I guess it could if you adjust the, maybe you can't, I don't know. I don't think the shoulder can go all the way around, but it gets me what I need. Elbow to 90 degrees, nothing at the wrist. Bicep swivel. We have a nice free-flowing waist. That does go all the way around. Hips. I mean, out that far, I suppose. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. Leg all the way forward, leg all the way back. 90 degrees at the knee. Thigh swivel. Nothing at the ankle. But you could bring the toe forward and back. Not for nothing. I mean, here he is next to the... Move him over. Next to the Beast Hunter Bumblebee again. As you can see, the Beast Hunter one is... I don't even know if I'd say it's smaller. It's just, its plastic is laid out differently. I think they're both successful in their own way. I just think this is more interesting, both visually and in terms of the transformation. So I don't think there's really a loser. It's just different degrees of decency for a Transformers Prime version of Bumblebee. Oh, and I knocked that off of his back. You'll also notice that I have the blaster for Bumblebee here put on his forearm, where it fits no problem. It's perfectly fine. So I wish we had a little more free flowing on the shoulders, and ankle tilt would be nice. So I'm going to say 9. So a 9 for the look, a 9 for the articulation, and he feels solid. A 10 for the transformation. Overall, this guy's a good 9 to a 9.5. It is a great version of Transformers Prime Bumblebee. If you have the regular mainline deluxe, should you go back and hunt for this? I don't think so. I don't know if it's worth going through that effort for, but it is good if you can get it. And here we are once again. Here he is, and he's great. He looks like Bumblebee. He has the rounded features of Bumblebee, just like he has in the show. I think it's a fantastic head sculpt. The yellow is a good yellow. It matches really everywhere, all over the place. I like the other accents. Is it absolutely perfect? Maybe not, but boy, oh boy, is it pretty close. The transformation is very interesting and pretty darn smooth for the most part. I love the look of the car. I love the look of the robot. And the articulation is, quite frankly, second to none. I mean, a wrist swivel maybe would have been nice, but outside of that, man, oh man, there's a lot here to like. Does he have a waist? I couldn't remember. Yeah, dude has a waist. I mean, I guess ankle tilt if I really wanted to nitpick, but you know what? When this came out, it was tremendous. It was a feat of engineering at its time. It still is a feat of engineering for now in the modern age of 2023. This is when Transformers were in their glory days of great value for little money. Hard to argue with how wonderful this bee turned out. Even I have to admit, he's pretty great. Let me know what you think about the first edition Bumblebee. I appreciate you guys coming by and giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through Spring, or of course you can hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. Please hit the subscribe button, stick around, have some fun with us here on the channel, and especially don't forget that somehow, some way, each and every single solitary day, you right there, you do make a difference in the world, whether you know it or not. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams, at the stop motion premieres, or the old-fashioned way right here inside the videos.